Hi there. Good Thursday morning. Millions waking up to scenes of devastation
as Hurricane Milton delivers a deadly blow to Florida. It's October 10th. This is Today. Path of destruction. Milton tearing across Florida overnight after crashing ashore as a powerful Category 3, unleashing a life-threatening storm surge and knocking out power to millions. Extreme winds toppling this massive construction crane and ripping the roof off of Tampa Bay's baseball stadium. The storm also spawning a deadly tornado outbreak, the state's largest ever.
They took out that 10,000 square foot red iron building.
A massive search and rescue operation now underway.
Trying to find those that are left behind, trying to find those that are stuck.
Daylight just beginning to reveal the full extent of the damage as video emerges of a dramatic encounter in the rising floodwaters.
Oh, that was a big alligator just bit our tires.
An alligator in someone's driveway. We'll have the very latest on Milton's impact, the rescue efforts, and where the storm is now headed. Today, Thursday, October 10th, 2024.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Good morning, guys. Welcome to Today, 7 a.m. on the West Coast. We're happy you're joining us on this Thursday morning.
Yeah, we want to get right to the latest on Hurricane Milton, a storm that is impacting air travel all across the country this morning. It ripped across Florida overnight. And as you can see right there, it's still whipping up some pretty rough seas and big waves at the pier on Jacksonville Beach.
Milton made landfall just after 8:30 last night, hitting the barrier islands next to Sarasota as a powerful Category 3 storm. The wind gusts reaching over 100 miles an hour and the storm surge over 10 feet in some areas. The hurricane also claiming several lives and knocking out power to more than 3 million people across the state.
And take a look at this. This is a scene near Tampa right now. The roof of Tropicana Field torn to shreds. The stadium is, of course, home to the Tampa Bay Rays. It was being used to house emergency workers last night, but thankfully they were moved out just before the storm hit.
One remarkable aspect of Milton as it approached Florida, the historic tornado outbreak it spawned. This, by the way, an image from NOAA showing the storm's intensity and powerful lightning.
More than 100 homes were destroyed in those tornadoes. They tore across central and southern Florida, and at least 2 people were killed in St. Lucie County.
We have correspondents across the battered region this morning, starting with NBC's Tom Llamas. He's in Sarasota. He was out in the storm all night long. Tom, good morning to you.
Hey guys, good morning to you. Sarasota was just north of landfall, a couple of miles. It happened in Siesta Key. We felt the brunt of those hurricane force winds. Here's some of the damage. It's not too bad in Sarasota, but you can see what happened in this building here. Residents tell us pebbles were shot out like projectiles from another building, breaking all those windows you see here. The storm surge, according to Governor DeSantis, was the highest here in Sarasota, 5 to 10 feet. And you mentioned those historic tornadoes. They were destructive. They took homes, they took lives. And right now, as we're broadcasting live, there are still ongoing rescues happening in Tampa because of the fear of those flash floods.
This morning, storm-weary Floridians waking up to another disaster.
First responders have been working all through the night to help people who were in distress.
Hurricane Milton slamming into Florida's Gulf Coast overnight. A Category 3 hurricane when it roared ashore near Siesta Key, bringing catastrophic storm surge and drenching rain to the region. Water quickly rising, flooding roads and submerging entire neighborhoods, even sparking house fires. St. Petersburg hit with more than 18 inches of rain, intense wind topping 100 miles per hour, causing a dramatic scene at Tropicana Field, which was originally supposed to house first responders who were moved out before the storm hit. Wind ripping through the stadium, chunks of the roof hanging off, exposed and scattered with debris. In Sarasota, the monster storm causing a transformer to explode during our live report.
It's starting to turn dire. At first we had, okay, we gotta go.
Milton's powerful winds snapping trees and flipping cars into homes, even sending a massive crane into the Tampa Bay Times building, and tornadoes posing a major threat. Well over 100 warnings issued Wednesday, the most recorded in a single day in Florida ever.
Like it sounded like a car crash.
destroying more than 100 homes, ripping off roofs, and completely knocking down homes across the central and southern part of the state. The twisters being blamed for multiple fatalities, one touching down at a senior center in St. Lucie County and leaving this sheriff's station a mangled mess.
It's a 10,000 square foot red iron structure that was housing all of our high water rescue vehicles, was hit by a tornado in 50 yards away, and it completely wiped it out.
Nearly 100,000 residents taking cover across the state.
It's okay, Bubba. It's okay.
And many stepping in to help with rescues. President Biden delivering this message.
To the people of Florida and all the impacted states, we've got your back. We've got your back.
Long lines of ambulances sent to evacuate hospitals and senior centers. Some healthcare workers staying behind to care for those who couldn't be moved.
We can rebuild, but saving people's lives is, of course, the most important thing.
Utility crews now beginning the race to restore power and cell service. Now, after enduring 2 hurricanes in just 2 weeks, many residents worry what this new recovery will involve. Terry Burke's home in St. Pete was ripped apart by Helene.
We lost everything.
She had to evacuate 2 hours away to stay with family.
And you get pretty overwhelmed.
Evacuees also fearing for their neighbors who chose to stay behind.
We'll be there to help them when we come home. We just need to care about one another.
A live look now against some of the damage here in Sarasota. We should mention, though, there does not appear to be widespread damage, at least not in the city of Sarasota. But again, the sun is out and people are assessing all the damage that is out there. It seems like some of the real damage and obviously that destruction came from those surprise tornadoes, which again were historic. Florida has never seen a night like that with all of those tornadoes. Governor DeSantis telling us that the National Guard here has been activated. There are thousands of troops to help with the cleanup, as more than 3 million customers, Savannah, still have no power in the Sunshine State. I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, long night, and it's going to be a long day, too. Tom, thank you very much for that. Let's go about 15 miles north to Bradenton. That's where Dylan is, checking out the damage as the sun came up. What did you find?
Well, Savannah, we saw a lot of additional damage to the hurricane that just hit less than 2 weeks ago. So a lot of what you're seeing on the street right now is because of the wind from this storm. Now, this storm was a triple threat. We had the rain, we had the wind, and we had the threat of the storm surge. Now, the storm surge came up to about 3 feet high during Hurricane Helene. But during this one, because of that little wobble in the track, we didn't get the storm surge. But instead, the additional damage to these homes and this property was caused by the winds. We had gusts in this area up around 100 miles per hour. So that took down, even the tops of some of these palm trees here that rarely are impacted by these hurricanes. So we certainly have seen the wind damage caused by this whole system. And we've already had folks out here, just neighborhood, just people in the community coming out with forklifts and what they can to clean up these streets. I know this area is a very tight-knit old fishing community. So oftentimes they don't evacuate during storms like this. In fact, some of the folks here haven't evacuated for 60, 70 years. But because of Helene hitting just 13 days prior to this storm making landfall, they decided to heed the warnings and get out of town. So while we are seeing some damage, we are not seeing the loss of life that we could have seen from this storm because they heeded those warnings, Savannah.
All right, Dylan, thank you. 7:08 on the West Coast. When I check in with Al, where is the storm now?
Well, good news, it's offshore, and that's great news. In fact, the interesting thing, Milton, with this 13 days after Helene, this is the first time ever for Florida they've had that short a period of time of having 2 major hurricanes make landfall. It's the 3rd landfalling hurricane in Florida this year. That ties for the most on record. 5 U.S. landfalls this season, the 2nd most on record, and the 10th major hurricane of Category 3 or more making landfall in 8 years. All right, so here's the latest. It is now still a Category 1 hurricane, 75 miles east-northeast Cape Canaveral, 85-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving northeast at 18 miles per hour as it is, and then it just rockets off, and that is that, and it's good riddance. But as far as the rest of the flooding, that's just about over. 8 million people at risk. Excessive runoff still continues, though, so that's why we have to keep those flash flood warnings in effect. There might be another inch or 2 of rain possible, but I think most of that is done as well. And, of course, we have been talking about tomorrow, there could be some heavier showers and thunderstorms. They're out. We are also looking at the heaviest rainfall we could find officially was in St. Petersburg, 18.3 inches of rain. They got 5 inches in just 1 hour. That's a 1 in 1,000 year rainfall event. Guys?
Wow, thank you. And Craig joins us now as we continue to cover this storm. Water rescues are unfolding across the storm zone, including in an apartment complex in Clearwater. It's Police Chief Eric Gandy joins us on the phone from that scene. Chief, good morning to you. It's Savannah and Craig in New York. Just wonder what you're finding as you go door to door and check out what the damage is.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Savannah. We're in an apartment complex, about 500 units, and the first floor in many of the units was completely underwater. I saw it at about 5:30 this morning, and we immediately called in additional resources from the Pinellas County Sheriff, FWC, and we're going door to door and actually having to force doors to access these apartments and make sure we don't have any victims inside. So it's a multi-agency effort. We've got high water vehicles, we've got vessels, and so far we've extracted hundreds of people. We estimate there may be as many as 1,500 individuals in this complex.
Chief, outside that complex there, and we saw some of the images, some of the video and pictures, it looks absolutely terrifying. As the sun comes up there in Clearwater, what else are you seeing?
So throughout the city, it reminds me a lot of Irma. I made a loop of the city. We're 31 square miles of city here, and power lines down, trees down. I went to the beach, which is everyone's familiar with, and thankfully we didn't have any surge events out there. So we didn't have a repeat of Helene. So this was a rainfall event at this apartment complex, and it's taxing quite a few resources, as I mentioned.
All right.
Well, Clearwater Police Chief Eric Gandy, thank you for taking a moment to chat with us, and best of luck to you.
Another major part of the story, of course, is the federal response. And as we speak, FEMA officials are on the ground in Florida trying to reassure residents that help is available for people impacted by both Milton and, of course, Helene. NBC's Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander is following that part of the story. Peter, good morning.
Hey, Craig, some new details for those just waking up on the West Coast right now. President Biden, we've just learned, was briefed by his Homeland Security advisor and the FEMA administrator within the last hour or so. He did also speak to Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis about Milton's impact. The president and vice president, notably, are both going to get a full briefing in the Situation Room. The vice president will be there virtually. That'll happen at about 8 a.m. Pacific. The White House said more than 8,000 federal workers were positioned across the Southeast, including in Florida, to respond to this monster storm. FEMA is also well stocked with supplies. Some of these numbers are staggering. 20 million meals, 40 million liters of water that they're set to distribute immediately. Power outages, as you've heard, a major concern right now. Hundreds of power linemen and their trucks staged in that region, ready to deploy as soon as possible, clearly already heading out to do that. And search and rescue crews from across the country. We've seen pictures of teams from as far away as Utah and beyond landing in nearby states to rush in as needed. Craig?
All right, our Chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander for us. Peter, thank you.
Let's turn back to Al, Mr. Roker, with the rest of the forecast.
Well, the good news, guys, is, as we said, we're just about done with Milton, and that's giving folks a chance to dry out and start to clean up. But we are looking at very chilly conditions we've had this morning in parts of the Great Lakes, the Northeast. That's probably going to continue again tomorrow, where we've had frost advisories. Beautiful day, plenty of sunshine through the Gulf today. Look for that Midwest warmth to continue. Today, Minneapolis is going to be about 8 degrees above normal with a high of 82 degrees. We're looking at record highs that will continue throughout the Southwest. Plenty of sunshine making its way into the Pacific Northwest as well. We are looking at a mix of rain and snow showers for our friends in Alaska. So we are starting to see some issues there. And showers also starting to push their way, even though it's warm in Hawaii. We're looking at a high of about 88 degrees. Again, some record highs will be working their way into the south. So in fact, 96 degrees today in Houston. It's going to be bright and sunny. We're also expecting to see plenty of sunshine through the Great Lakes. 71 degrees in Alpena, Michigan. We expect to see that sunshine continuing in the mid-Atlantic states. In fact, we are looking at temperatures that are below average into the midsection of the country, the mid-Atlantic states as well. We almost never get this much time to talk about the weather, but you know what? It is nice to take a look at a map and just see how beautiful our great country is. That's what's going on around the country. We are going to get to your local forecast in the next 30 seconds.